Hello and thanks for watching my video. This is another in the series looking at the Heart of Thorns preparation and what you should be doing to prepare yourself for the upcoming expansion. And in this video we're going to be looking at what you can do to prepare yourself for the new profession, the Revenant. Now a lot of people will be wanting to play their Revenant straight away, and the issue with being with that Heart of Thorns expansion is only going to be level 80 access. So if you do not want to level your character up the usual way, then how else can you level them up? If you want to level them up quick, there are several different ways in which you can level your character. But there's not only that, you want to start preparing yourself for when you do get a level 80 Revenant, and what you can actually acquire for your Revenant when you're waiting, and also some specializations, as I mentioned in a previous video, where we looked at preparing yourself for specializations. Today we're going to be looking at what we can do for the Revenant. So you see here we have on my character experience scrolls. They are acquired from having your characters be a year old, or 365 days. Every 365 days you get a new experience scroll for each of your characters. So as you can see here, I've got a vast number of those, which means I can actually immediately level my character up to level 20. And that's going to give me a good head start. And you can see to the right I actually have plenty of tomes of knowledge, and that will be able to level my character up very quickly indeed. They have talked about changing some of these tomes of knowledge regarding to do with leveling up, and whether or not you will be able to level up in this case. There's still some debate, because obviously the skill points are actually changing. I think tomes of knowledge are still going to be valid to level up, and so it's worth holding on to them. You can acquire tomes of knowledge by every little stage of PvP. You acquire a tome of knowledge, which is why I actually have quite a number of stacks of these tomes of knowledge. And it'll allow me, if I was to solely use a scroll and then the tomes of knowledge, I'll instantly have a level 80 character, level 80 Revenant, in fact. And so that's one of the things I'm preparing myself for. I made sure that I've got a lot of tomes of knowledge. To be honest, I do have too many. I do want more of a sink for these tomes of knowledge, because obviously you can't level them up. We don't believe that the masteries are going to be able to use these tomes of knowledge. It's still up in the air, so we're not too sure on that yet. You can use crafting boosters if you want to go and craft materials. You can use food for the cooking, or obviously if you a lot of these low-level mats, they're fairly cheap at the moment. I'm sure they're going to go up in price once the new Revenant comes out. People are going to want to level up as soon as possible, so they're going to be buying a lot of these materials, the cheap ways to do this. So looking at how you can level up your character through crafting the quickest way possible, buying those materials, getting them ready for your character is going to be pretty handy to do right now. Because I'm sure, when a lot of people want to level up their Revenant, crafting is going to be a way a vast majority of people are going to use to actually increase the level of their character. And some of them are a lot of these prices are going to increase. But how else can you level up? Well, if we look up here, we have Edge of the Mists. It's long been a very good way to level up characters, and it's going to continue to be used, especially that first week the expansion hits. There are going to be so many Revenants in the Edge of the Mists, all trying to level up by going around doing events and being upscaled to level 80. And so that'll be an interesting way. If you are wanting to go, if you can't prepare yourself, then be aware, go and learn how the Edge of the Mist works, and see how you can actually level up your character very quickly indeed by following the Zerg, going around and doing events, getting karma. It's a very good way to actually level up your character once you actually have them in play. So that's something, if you don't have the tomes of knowledge, if you can't level up through crafting past a certain level, the Edge of the Mists is a very good place to level up indeed, and hopefully it will continue to be that way after launch. But what else can we do to prepare ourselves for the Revenant? Well, if you do get to level 80, then you are going to need, sort of the stats. You are going to need, armor and weapons. And as you can see here, I've done the Glorious Armor track, and I've got some ascended pieces of armor there. But the Glorious Armor allows me to select the particular stats. And this I actually got from doing the PvP reward track. I've already got the armor for my Revenant. all I need to do is level them up to level 80. Boom, I'm going to put these exotic armor pieces on the Revenant because it is the 3rd heavy armor class, so we already know that. So all the armor is ready for my level 80 Revenant. So that's going to be handy. The fact that I can choose the stats as well is going to be very beneficial. I can choose to make it a Condi or perhaps a healer power, because we don't know exactly to do with the legends how that's going to work. And that this will be able to give me the bit of an option. I actually did create a Condi hammer, this ascended armor hammer. It means if my Revenant is a little bit sort of doesn't work with the hammer that well, I'll move him onto another one because it's account bound. But the fact is, I've played the demo, I know how strong the condition damage hammer is, particularly on the Malinx legend, and so I've already crafted this ready for my Revenant when he gets to level 80. I've even got a back piece that's an exotic back piece again that I could select the stats, so that's another thing that I have ready. I've got a shield here, that's going to be sort of one of the specializations, I imagine. But here, yeah, the hammer, I can also use it as an engineer if I wanted to. But also doing PvP, you do get weapon boxes. You can see here the Twilight Arbor weapon box, and this gives you the option to select and open up, select any weapon you want. It'll become an exotic armored weapon, exotic weapon, and you can choose the stats. So you've got 3 options here, 3 stats selections. So you can do this now, go into PvP, earn these reward boxes, look at the stats that are available because each reward track has different reward stats, and you can get a load of different weapons for your Revenant. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm saving up a lot of reward boxes, and they'll be used when my Revenant is level 80. I'll be able to give him a load of different weapons, give him his armor, and bang, I am ready to go as my Revenant. My Revenant will be doing World versus World. My Revenant will be doing Heart of Thorns because it'd be cool to go and see them there. You know, you want to have sigils ready as well. You're going to have sigils for the weapons. You want to have a rune set that you could possibly buy because who knows how the runes are going to be affected by the upcoming expansion. Writs of experience, I did talk about in another video, particularly to do with mastery, so I wouldn't recommend using the writs to actually level up. Because I think it's going to be much more viable for when you are level 80. However, this may change. If it does change and it becomes more valid for lower levels, then by all means the writs of experience are definitely going to be worthwhile to level up as well. They give you a small amount of XP, but having a big stack of them should get you a level or 2, particularly at the lower levels. They'll be able to really give you a lot of experience. So, to sum up, this video has been about how you can prepare to get your Revenant to level 80. It's also about what you can do to equip your Revenant when you get to level 80, and just some of the steps you should take now to actually make sure that you're fully aware of what's going to happen with the leveling up, and how a lot of materials are likely to change because a lot of people are going to be leveling up that first week the expansion launches. So be aware. You want to make sure as well any of those ascended rings that you've got around, if you've kept them, then they'll be useful as well. But generally, this is the Revenant, and I'm hoping that this little guide has been useful. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them. If you have any suggestions on how you can prepare for the Revenant, by all means. But this is the first new profession for Guild Wars 2. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.